Afternoon. Hello. Little quick jumping on live before I'm actually headed to the school to run my after school program today, second day. Today we got seventh and eighth graders. Lord, you know what that's going to be like. For all my educators, when you're starting a new program with kids you don't know, right? Understand this. It's their job to clown you. It is their job. It is their job to clown you, especially if you're a big person, skinny person, whatever it is. So here's what I'm going to get clowned about today. One, pimple that I was messing around with Tiff's. She has like this suction cup thing, and I used that, and it made the pimple worse. And now I look like I got a hickey next to my nose. So they're going to clown me about that. They're going to clown me about being a big person. Okay. Here's the thing. One, always be prepared. Two, have a little quick comeback. And nothing super disrespectful because you don't want the kids fighting you. But what you want to be able to do is turn it into humor. Disarm them by whatever they say. Take it from them. Like one of the kids Tuesday said, "Yo, he's a giant." And so I let him get situated. I said, "All right, everybody grab a seat. Make sure you space out." I said, "Who's the one that called me a giant?" And they were all like, I said, "It was you with the hat, right? You the one that called me a giant?" He was like, no, I didn't. I said, "Yes, you did. You called me a giant. It's okay. When I was in sixth grade, if I walked in a room and seen a man my size, I think I was a giant too. It's okay. Because you didn't say it in a disrespectful way. If I thought you was being disrespectful, we might have to go out in that hallway. I don't think that's what you want, right? No, okay." And we had some fun. We broke the ice, and then we were able to go ahead and have a decent session yesterday. Today, I'm dealing with kids slightly older, only a year or two. But that year or two is much different. Seventh and eighth grade is much different. A little more disrespectful, a little more feeling themselves. So I'll get comments, I'll get little things, but I'm dressed for it. I'm dressed down as usual. That's how I run the after school program. So I got on sweatpants, I got on shell top Adidas, baby. Black on black. And of course, I always have the company shirt on. But I'm prepared for it, and we're going to have some fun with it because to me, and because I've run this mentor program now 3 other times in 3 other schools with high school kids, junior high school kids, and a mixture of junior high school and high school kids, I'm not worried about it. And my feelings don't get hurt, okay? So if you're dealing with children in any capacity, especially in the service capacity, have thick skin. Don't get bent out of shape because the kids were trying to be disrespectful. They don't know you. And don't act like when you was young, you didn't do it yourself or hung out with kids who did it. I was that kid. Yo, look at this cat right here. But the cool teacher, quote unquote, is the one who reaches them by acknowledging them and has that conversation. And in my mind, I'm not worried about that quick 30 seconds of disrespect. Because once they get to know me, now we're going to have a conversation. When they get to know me, we're good. Now, the ones who will be disrespectful are the ones who are going to be or would be disrespectful to whoever was in the front of the room or to the side or in the back of the room, because I'm always all over the place. And so I don't worry about that. 10% are going to do what they're supposed to do. 10% are going to try to get up under your skin. It is the other 80% that you want to kind of fall in line and rock with you. You get that, you're doing pretty good, because that means you got 90% of the room. 90% is real good. And I've been doing this for a minute, so I don't really stress or bug out. Now, with that said, you should also have your agenda. You should have something that keeps you on task in case the kids get you a little frazzled, or if what you're trying to do does not work. You should be able to, whatever the plan is, work your plan, work your lesson, But if the lesson starts to go sideways, know how to create engaging conversation. So you should have a working understanding of what they watch, what they listen to, or topics that will guarantee to have a conversation. Now, because I'm connected to these streets, we had some drug conversation because one of the kids was explaining that his uncle was incarcerated, and I explained to them that I used to work with young men who were incarcerated, and I was brought in to try to help raise spirits and stuff like that. So we got on that conversation, and they started talking about the drug game, and it opened up the door to discussing choices. So don't shy away from subjects. Control it. Kids was talking about how their uncle was locked up because somebody snitched on him, and I said, okay, snitched on him, for what? He was like, oh, he was selling drugs. I said, okay, well, you made a choice. And boom, I can now take that and go into the direction that I want to go in. I said, so let me ask all you guys something. And speaking to the young man, I said, when it comes to making that choice, and I'm not talking about your uncle, and that's another thing too, remove any opportunity to make it less personal, take that. So I said, I'm not talking about your uncle. Let's talk about just everybody else that's out here, right? When we make the choice to go out on the block and do the things that we think are going to make us some fast money, how do we deal with the potential of somebody hurting us or getting locked up? How do we deal with the choices that we make? We're in a conversation, and we're in a conversation that's going to take quite a few minutes, and you don't have to do too much. Just orchestrate it, meaning make sure the other kids respect the person that's speaking. The speaker has the floor. Make sure that there's no side conversations going on. And again, in doing that, you want to make sure that the kids know what's a strike against the rules. So you want to make sure you've already expressed your rules. But when the rules are broken, make sure that everybody hears and sees that's unacceptable. Because often when you're talking to one, you're talking to all. And I know that over the years, I've come to accept and learn that it's necessary. It's real necessary for me to be able to, let me squeeze in here. Really, you're not gonna let me in? That's what's hot in the streets. So what's really necessary is for me to make sure everything is in control. The kids get it. And over time, the kids follow the rules as long as you keep the rules in place. My rules are consistent. And because my rules are consistent and I'm consistent with my rules, after a while, kids fall right into place. I live by a very simple credo when it comes to setting up a program, teaching, anything else. 3 equals 33. Yeah, I said that. 3 equals 33. You know what that means? What you do the first 3 weeks carries over the next 3 weeks. That's 33 weeks, excuse me. What you do for the first 3 weeks carries over to the next 33. So when I was teaching, we're talking about 36 weeks. And over that time, you're talking about like 9 months, really like 38 weeks, 9 months of teaching. Whatever I did, I made sure the first 3 weeks I was on point, and it always carried over the rest of the school year. So come April and May, some kids were swinging from the chandeliers in other people's rooms, the light stanchions, not me. My kids understood because we had been practicing it since week 1, 2, and 3. And it'll be the same way today. I won't meet the kids at the door today when normally I do because I don't know them. And, some stranger standing at the door makes it kind of creepy. So I will sit over near the desk. And here's what I'm watching for when they come in the room today. And again, peep game. I'm watching to see who's the most talkative as they walk through the door, who's the most quietest as they walk through the door. I'm watching to see who's friends with each other. I'm looking for any pushing and any shoving and any type of aggression. And I'm also looking to see if anybody's going to walk through the door and seem down. Because if they do, that might be somebody I need to leave alone for this session. I may not need to call on him. He may just want to sit quietly, and my job is to let him do that. Because, and again, I'm speaking to anybody who works with kids, whether it's the classroom, whatever, Because if a kid has showed you with their body language, they just not in the mood today. Don't push that. Don't push that just because you want an answer or you want to hear something from the kids. No. Let the kid rock. Let the kid feel what he gonna feel or what she gonna feel. And then what you can do is towards the end or when you get ready to dismiss them, again, remember I'm new. See, I hear from you today, big guy, but I want to hear you. All right, that's easy. I'm not gonna ask him. All right, I'm new. He may or she may not tell me. I'm talking about he because I have all young men. I have a young men's mentor group. My job is not to uncover everything on day one. Mm-mm. That's the mistake a lot of folks make. They come in, they're gung ho, and they're trying to no. In time, as that child, the one that might be upset today, sees his friends have cool conversations with me, they will come to the table and eventually eat. You just have to keep setting the table for them. Even if they tell you at the beginning, leave me alone. That's why you don't bother them. And that's what you do. And what you will find, kids will reciprocate, kids will be what they are, and that's kids. And again, being able to tell stories. Being able to tell stories that kids can grasp. Being able to, hey, I get to hide my pimple. Let me see. You can still see it. So, being able to tell stories. I hate this mask too. I was sitting in the classroom yesterday. Tuesday. My other mask is a little looser, but I felt, you know what? Let me get the other one, the K, whatever this thing is, K, whatever they are. But I'm gonna tell you something. I really could not be back in the classroom right now. I really couldn't. It would not work. I would not be able to be back in the classroom if I had to wear this thing all day. Could not. And so I'm actually glad that I'm only showing up for after school because this is not hot in the streets wearing this mask, especially for a big person. It's not cool. You see all this right here? Okay, yeah, I got a second chin, man. I don't care. Well, I care, but I don't care if you care about it. So yeah, she be like, yo, because they don't make masks for big folks. They make it just to cover your nose and mouth. They forget us big people got like a whole big head. But I don't know if I'd want a whole mask to cover all that. So I'm good. But yeah, I had to take it off, once or twice just to get some air and then put it right back on. But, I don't want to get any child sick. I definitely don't want to be sick. But back to what I was saying, because I got a few minutes before I go ahead inside. I start at 3:30. I always like to come early to set my room up, make sure everything is good. Also to get a feel for the day. And let me tell you somebody that's always fantastic to get a feel for the day. The secretaries. They're on the front lines. Secretaries are right there at the front when parents come in, when kids come downstairs, if a kid has been suspended, if there's a fight, because everybody comes downstairs because the secretaries, the front desk deals with everything, just like a hotel. When you come into a building, school, and again, I'm speaking to anybody who deals with kids or you're an educator, just simply ask the secretaries, how was it going today? What was the vibe today? And they'll say, I don't know what's going on. They're off the wall today. Take that information and run with it. They're now letting you know today was a little feisty. You need to keep that in your arsenal for later on what you're going to do. If they go, no, everything was good today. Actually, pretty quiet. We didn't have too much going on. Take that into your arsenal. Okay, quiet day today. So, how can I parlay that into what I'm going to do after school? So there's a lot of ways to deal with it, but front desk and when I was in New York, school safety. Always be kind and courteous to school safety because school safety will let you know exactly what's going on. School safety will tell you if it's been a rough day, if they've had to deal with fights, if they had to deal with whatever. School safety is fantastic in that capacity. So I don't know who needed to hear this today, but let me go in here and try to make a difference. Get my mask on. And let me go in here and try to help these kids today. So Now, when I get to know them, yeah, you should hear some of the jokes when they want to come at me. I got some of the best your mama jokes, but no, anyway. Ask any of my former students. I'm not the cat you want to come at. I'll make you feel bad if you want, but that takes a while. I'm getting to know these kids, so we're going to see. All right, guys. See you in about an hour and a half. Let's go make this money.